Uh, Everybody, welcome back. We are back at not my normal scheduled hours, but that's okay. We here, right? Saturday. Welcome back to Ball Talk with Kim, smoothing out the truth with hope. I do have a lovely special guest here today with me, Miss Christy Dean. Can y'all say hey to Miss
Hello,
Christy?
hello,
Hey. All right. Well, as you know how I do it, I like to give a little fun facts for the month that we're currently in, just to kind of give you guys a little hindsight. So December is it has a lot going on in December. It's awareness for a whole lot of things. And I'm just not going to run down that list of those things. But one in particular that kind of caught my eye, or several, Bingo's birthday month. Bingo, like the game bingo. This is the month for bingo. So if y'all feeling lucky for Christmas, go ahead to them bingo halls and do what you do. It is also Learn Foreign Language Month as well. And we have some of the other ones like National Drunk and Drug Driving, 3D Prevention Month, National Human Rights. December is also, this is crazy, National Tie Month. So for a Christmas gift, kind of give you some hindsight if you want to get your husband, your boyfriend, your sons, whoever, a Christmas gift. You get them a tie, get them a tie, let them do their thing. We also, for this month, there was something else that stood out to me that I thought was fairly unique. And this is the root and vegetable exotic fruits month. I mean, hey, if you're trying to get healthy, y'all make it do what it do. Christy, I know we be trying to eat. And I don't know how that's gonna fly with us because I like to eat.
I like to eat too.
I like to eat.
I'm a foodie. I'm a foodie.
And one thing that I just wanted to shed some light on, and this really stuck out to me for sure, and this was the World Twin to Twin Transfusion Syndrome Awareness Month. So I'm a twin, and I'm a fraternal twin. So my brother is deceased, and I had twins as well. So for people that are pregnant and stuff like that, usually right around that fourth or fifth month is when this kind of takes place. So that's really unique. So that particular awareness, anyone that you know that's pregnant, and even if they having twins or maybe not, you read up on that. That's pretty cool. So without further ado, I would like to go ahead and jump into my motivational thought for the day. This is my motivational thought for just today. Of course, these quotes are written by me, initially for me. Now I'm going to bring it to you. So, this quote today is Lily entry number 100. Yeah, I said it is number 100. And it simply says, life is not meant to be hard or complex, nor is it complicated or perplexed. It is a journey meant to be traveled. And I say that to say, and this is kind of unique because I didn't even before, I usually just grab a topic and then I get my guests. Before I even pulled this quote, this is just pretty interesting how it popped up. Well, I got a chance to speak with my guest today. And I wanted to shed some light on something that's going on with her, but we'll get into that here shortly. And I wanted to go ahead and reintroduce her again, Miss Christy Dean. Yeah. Life is no fairy tale, y'all. I'm just going to put it out there like that, right? Christy, we know life is no fairy tale. So I wanted to just get into it about you, Miss Christy. Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've always told people, call me Christy Dean.
Christy
Call
Dean.
me Christy Dean. I was in elementary. Call me Christy Dean because I'm gonna be famous one day.
Already.
Now, the other person that I heard done that before, if you want to relate it, was Mike Jones. They said he used to always say, "Who, Mike Jones?" He
Okay.
said, and when I have a song and when I start rapping, I'm gonna say, "Who, Mike Jones?" So that was me. I wasn't Mike Jones, but I used to tell people, "Call me Christy Dean," because I'm gonna be famous one day. So that just basically says I always wanted to be an actress. I always wanted to be on stage. I always been a character. I always been animated. I'm loud. I'm boisterous. I'm country. I know how to be classy. I was the queen of my college, and I got to be in the Ebony magazine with all the other Black college queens, Miss Paul Queen, 2001. And so I was like, God, that's when I started discovering God's love. I came back home because I moved from Dallas to Houston for 3 years, from age 15 to 18.
So is it a difference with culture in Houston and Dallas?
Totally different. Okay. And that's what I wanted to tell you. That's when we started to really live life. We grew up poor. Like I tell people, my son would never understand about rats, roaches, water off, gas off, lights off.
I don't think any of this new generation will.
They would not survive.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
Yeah.
But I survived it.
Yeah.
And so my sister, that was the oldest, got tired of me and my other sister going through. It's 3 of us. And she said, move to Houston. And so it's almost like Cheers. Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. We went where nobody knew our name.
See,
but we became the most popular kids there because at that time, my sister worked for Suavemente, which was 8 Ball and MJG's studio company. And she had money and she had us with cars. I was a sophomore. My middle sister was a senior. And nobody knew what we went through because we were at that time in Mary Tay and Francois Jabot, K-Swiss. Like we had everything versus where we came from. And so then I came back home because that same sister that moved us with her, because our parents was on crack and she got tired of that and what we were going through. Yeah. And my mom is now delivered. That's her testimony.
Amen. Yeah.
Either way it go, I came back home because my sister got pregnant and we hadn't had a baby in the family in decades.
Wow.
And so I was like, I'm coming to help with the baby. And that's how I wound up at Paul Quinn.
Awesome.
So I said, I'm coming back home to Dallas. And I'll say then is when I started to see how the hand of God works. I joined TD Jakes Church. That was 1997.
Wow, that's when I joined, believe it or not.
I joined 1997.
Awesome. Wow,
and when he started preaching about jealousy and envy, and you don't have to be that way. And I've always been a person that tell people, oh, you're beautiful. Oh, that's pretty. Like we don't get that enough from women, no matter what, race, color, whatever. And so that was me in a nutshell, like compliment me. I like it.
Yes.
So I got to be a RA in college, which was a lot of fun, resident assistant. And then I got to be Miss Paul Quinn College. And both years I got free room and board.
That's how that works. You gotta find it. Yeah, that's
and
how it works.
And I came out of college after 4 years with only $2,500 loan.
Wow.
And I paid that off within a year. I know a lot of people got college debt. That's why I say that.
Yeah.
So that's when I started to really see the favor of God. The favor of God. And I was like, you know what? He loves me.
Yes, he does.
He loves
now,
me.
do you have how many siblings do you have?
I have a deceased brother who was under me, but he died of crib death.
Okay.
So he died at 2. I was 2 and he died at 2 months.
Okay.
And then I have my 2 sisters. So my mom has 3 girls.
Okay, 3 girls living. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm the baby.
And you're the baby. Now, are you married?
Never been married.
Never been married. Never
been married.
My God. Well, you know what I'm saying that like that's a surprise. Like really?
No, I know, right?
It's nothing wrong with not being married. Would you hope to get married?
I would love to get married.
Yeah.
I would love to get married. I tell my mom all the time, and we joke about this. She's on husband number 6. She needs to write a book and tell us how to just get one husband.
Well, look, right.
Please tell us, Mama, write a book.
Tell us how to get at least one.
Yeah, just one. But Mom is on husband number 6. But my goal is to be like Dad. My dad is now deceased. He died in 2013, and I was a daddy's girl. So Daddy only married Mama and Mama only. Okay. But I was their biological child, and my sister was already born. Yeah. So she said she married Dad for a babysitter.
What, Lord, we gonna leave that for Mama to tell that story.
She gotta tell that
story. Baby,
that's why I said y'all gotta talk to her about her testimony. But so Dad, they had me, but my daddy never told people different. I have 3 girls. He never made a difference. I have 3 girls. I have 3 girls because they were already born, and then I was born within the marriage. So I always told people that even though they didn't work out, that Daddy married once. And I was like, you can give it to me once. Now, after that, Kimberly, I don't know if I want it no more. If it don't work out, you ain't got to worry about me asking no more.
That's a wrap right there, right?
I want my one chance. Give me the one chance. Don't burn the schoolhouse down if you already married.
Right.
But give me my one chance. And if it does not work, then you ain't got to worry about me.
And that's interesting that you say that because I'm sorry, y'all, I do apologize. So Miss Christy is an actress and she's also a playwright. And I just learned a little tip fact. You also watch plays professionally?
I watch them professionally. I travel the world and get on a plane and go see plays professionally. I have over 200 to 300 programs in a book bag.
Wow.
And so I call myself a professional play watcher. So I deem myself, and I support everybody in Dallas.
Awesome.
So I go to Dallas stuff. I've been doing this since 1997.
So is it just plays?
I go to see plays. I love movies too.
Movies, okay.
But yeah, I go to see plays. I actually went and saw Cinderella on Broadway where Keke Palmer was the lead, and then Sherry Shepherd was her godmother.
Awesome.
And I drove. We flew all the way to New York and came back after the show.
That is amazing. See, that's a little tip. So just to kind of go into, you also are a play producer. So you recently, well, not recent, we won't go into that yet, but you have a play that you wrote. It's a stellar award-winning play. I must say, I got a chance to watch it, and it's called Marrying for the Wrong Reasons, which is interesting because you've never been married before.
Well, that's why I wanted to speak on it, because people don't marry for love anymore. And some do, don't get me wrong, but it's a handful. And I wanted to touch on subjects of why are you getting married? And the 4 subjects were: someone was down low, so what you call a beard. He wanted to marry a woman to prove he wasn't gay, but he really was. And then there was someone who got married for money, but this time I flipped it because I've seen before Maurice Chestnut and Michelle from Destiny's Child,
right.
And she married him for his money. So I flipped it because nowadays I don't know who taught these men, and I don't think it's just a Dallas thing that women are supposed to take care of you and you sit down. And this guy married her for her money. You still the wrong reason.
Still the wrong reason.
And then we had the last couple where they married because they had kids together.
Oh, that happens a lot.
That's damaging, though. That is so damaging.
Yeah.
Because you don't belong together just because you had a kid together.
Yeah, that happens a lot. And a lot of people don't understand that marriage is a covenant, true enough.
Very much so.
And you don't have to feel trapped or a sense of belonging because you have a child. For whoever that is.
Me and my son's dad, because I only have one child, and his stepmama, we 3 of us co-parent greatly.
Awesome.
I would have never met.
That's awesome.
He wasn't, and I don't even say baby dad. He get married when I use that because he's the father of my child.
Yes,
really,
absolutely.
He's there for him. He's in his life. His wife is there. She doesn't have any biological, but she treats mine so well.
As if he was hers.
So, I said, you can co-parent. You don't have to be married and living in the same household for children to understand
for the sake of that.
Because a lot of times I have people say to me, and it's so funny, you're afraid of him. You won't talk back to him. You let him run over you. But what they have to understand was that when I argue with him, my child is affected.
Yeah, that's true. He's a man, a young boy as well, and he's going to become a man. So what he see mama doing and daddy doing, that's what he's going to do when he gets older. It never fails. So how old is your son?
He's 16.
He's 16. Oh, I love that age. It drives me insane. So, but we're going to be right back with a short commercial break, guys, and bring you a little bit more about Miss Christy Dean. So right before we went on the break, we were talking about your son. He's 16 years old.
He's 16.
He's 16. Does he play sports or anything?
He does. Actually, he had surgery a year ago this time.
Really?
Because they didn't just tear his ACL. We couldn't find it.
Wait. Hey, hold on. Supposedly that's when I hear torn ACL, but you said they couldn't
find his ACL. They had to build him a fake one.
I was just going to say that they have to do that reconstructive.
They had to reconstruct his knee. And when I tell you, my son has never even been in ER but once since he's been born. And that was when I thought he had either strep throat or I was trying to figure out what is it, but he doesn't. Oh, and he went to ER when he broke his nose at 6 years old. He was trying to ride a bike and didn't know how to brake and hit the concrete and nose.
That's all I story.
But yeah, he was just, and I had to take him and they was like, it's broken and there's nothing we can do but let it heal.
It heal.
Yeah. But so he doesn't get in into a lot of ER situations. He's
So
very healthy.
How did he tear?
Well, he's football.
Football. He
That's
plays
what I'm saying. He
football.
plays
Okay.
football.
Okay.
Now
What
he
school?
runs track too.
What school?
Little Am High School.
All right, Little
Yeah.
Am.
So
All right now.
my baby, but yeah, y'all, he just started back in August
Awesome,
doing
and I
football
know
because
he's
he had
happy.
surgery December, and
Is-
we've been in therapy ever since.
So which was he prefer, track or football?
He prefers football.
He
He
does.
loves football.
It's something about
He
these
loves
boys
it. And a lot
this
of people
ball.
like, I wouldn't dare let my child play. You see what happened to your child? And I'm like, you can't live your life in fear.
That's right. And speaking of that, fear. Because that fear will cause you to lose everything.
Yeah, you'll never get to live your life fully.
Mm-hmm.
I think I like the acronym, and I still remember it to this day from when I was a kid. False evidence appearing real.
Yes.
Fear.
Yes.
False evidence appearing real.
Mm.
And so for somebody to say to me, I would have never let my child play sports. That's it right there.
Mhm.
And you gonna let him go back? What if it happened again? No. We don't speak nothing negative. We don't talk about that. I've prayed. I've asked God, and that's what I'm gonna have to do. I can't live in fear.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
And speaking of that fear, what a lot of people don't know is that you also suffered with bipolar. Is that correct? Bipolar?
Bipolar disorder.
Wow. So I wanted to just kind of bring some awareness to people, the listening audience, about bipolar, because I think we have so many myths and misconceptions, especially in our culture, about bipolar and getting treatment for it. And then we automatically label people as crazy. And I purposely today decided to name this bipolar disorder and say, I'm not crazy. I hurt too.
Right.
You're not crazy. Just because you have things going on in your life, you're not crazy.
And you know what I say to that, Kim, when they call me crazy? I tell them, and I get a check for it too. Do you get paid for your crazy?
Well, see, you know what? We gonna try to stick with this.
I was just giving you the joke of what I say.
Hey, and I love the fact that you're very transparent with it, and that you're open, and that's something that
Very
I
much
truly gravitated. I say, you know what? The fact that you are willing to speak about it and talk about it says a lot. And it's like there's no shyness here. There's no secret, because I am what I am.
No, it's no shame, because what a lot of people have to realize is that there's so many mental conditions in this world. And as Black people, we are taught you don't supposed to take therapy. Mm-hmm. And then if you take medicine, people try to tell you get off your medicine. So I went through that, which is why it wound me up in a mental institution several times over and over again. Not taking church people told me not to take my medicine.
And that's interesting that you say that, because there are triggers with bipolar.
It really is.
Mania. And I know you guys may hear manic or a mania. Man, she had a manic attack. That's me. Back in the day, she just had a manic attack. She's spazzing out. Or she just crazy. She this and that. Or he talking to himself. But there are so many different signs and symptoms of bipolar. But there are three major, and I'll just share this. There are three major types of bipolar, y'all. And bipolar 1 disorder, it's like having one manic episode, and that may precede or followed by like a hypomaniac or a major depressive state that you're in. And then you have bipolar 2 disorder, and that's at least one major depressive episode. I'm not going to get too much into that, but at least you have one hypomaniac episode, but you've never had a manic episode, like spazzed out, like so crazy, but you're heavily depressed.
Right.
And then there's the cyclomitic disorder, and you've had at least 2 years or 1 year in children and teenagers of many periods of hypomania symptoms. And with that being said, there are other types of bipolar as well that causes people to resort to like alcohol and drugs and stuff like that.
Yes.
So here's some of the symptoms, because to be honest with you, and I was talking to someone today before the show about bipolar, and I said, hey, I have a guest coming on, and I love the fact that she's very transparent about it.
Very much so.
And I said, I love her spirit. She's just a sweet person. I love her. Well, she says, maybe you're bipolar.
No.
I said, you know what? To be honest with you, we all
everybody has their personalities. I don't know if you follow, like the astrology. But my thing is that I'm a fish. being a Pisces. So it's one going this way, one going this way. But if you think about it, even on a scale, it may be one up, one down, even on. So basically, I feel like, and then I've met a Gemini that had a whole bunch of different personalities.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I feel like we all have split personalities depending on what corner you push us in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because I'm a Taurus, and I'm
oh, now see, you're a bull, so you push you
child.
hard enough, you gonna come out scratching.
Oh, baby, child, rage.
Exactly.
That's rage. Because it's easy to get, and I think everybody are easy to get along with. It's just understanding who they are.
Yeah.
And when you understand how a person is, you know how to deal with them. You know how to approach them. You know what you can say and can't say.
Yeah,
you know, and it's just developing that level of trust. So I did some digging, and I found there are like 10 symptoms of bipolar. And one in particular is no particular order, but there's hypersexuality, which is a sexual indiscretion, such as engaging in intercourse with strangers, married friends, acquaintances, and etc. And these people pretty much don't realize it's a form. Bipolar is depression, y'all. I'm just gonna go on and put it out there. It is a form of depression. There is trauma related to that, and we'll get into how you can help control that as well. Then there's one that's called religiosity. I think I'm saying that right. And that's those people that's fantasy, that's more fantasy based. And these are the people that pretty much are what's that more on the religion side,
right?
But it's kind of unrelated when you talking about something religion, and then you go off on a tangent, and I'm like, what? Oh, wait,
yeah,
bring that back
one
around.
There, I went through, and I wound up in a mental institution behind it because I was going to a lot of different churches, letting people lay hands on me, and going to a lot of different, very much so. Spirits do transfer, and I wound up in a mental institution because I was going to all kind of different churches.
Yeah, and you have to be careful about who you allow to speak over you and to speak into you.
You really do. You really do, because when I went through it, I didn't know who I was, where I was, but I can definitely tell you that I was going to so many different churches.
Yeah.
So many different religions. And I had one pastor say, well, you just come tell your story, I'll pay you. And I was like, no,
it's not about that.
Free.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But because he was trying to get people to understand when you church hop. But my thing was, I was going to from Church God in Christ to this here, to this here.
Yeah.
And next thing I know now,
you confused, just shaking
I was totally confused.
Yeah.
And I wind up in a mental institution.
Oh, wow. That is crazy. Then there's one called, I don't know if you've ever experienced any of this. It's called wild outbursts. And that's like,
I have those
someone in the store, and they just, for no reason, it's just like, bam. It's like, what? Like, what's going on? And no one really knows what's going on. But I've learned that you have to be mindful and very careful when someone outbursts that's having bipolar, because they're not in that state of mind where you're calm and settled. And I forgot what you call that, but when you're calm and settled, you have to just kind of allow them to go, as long as they're not causing any harm to anything. But you have to just give them their space and allow them to do what they do. Don't poke fun. Don't laugh at them and do that. And I know a lot of people do it, but it's like, nah. And the first thing they holler is, "Oh, you're crazy," and that's just not what it is.
No, it's not. And my outbursts come when I'm manic.
When you're manic.
When I haven't had sleep.
It's like a trigger.
But what triggers it is that I haven't set boundaries. Hear me when you hear me.
Yes.
I'll have somebody come to my house and go in my refrigerator, get something without permission, and it's just building up. And they went in the room. They didn't ask me, could they go in that room? And it's building up and it's building up. And then the next thing you know, the little thing happened where somebody does something else.
Wow.
And I blow. And now it's like, what happened? All I did was, but I didn't set boundaries.
Yes.
And if you don't set boundaries,
that's important.
Have outbursts.
That's important. And I'm glad you said that, because again, it makes sense. Why?
But it's not bipolar.
Yeah.
See, we got to know there's a thin line.
Yes.
There's a thin line, because I always tell people it's a thin line between love and hate. And it really is. Somebody can hate you so much they love you, but they can love you so much they hate you. And but I know that's a whole nother subject.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, it's a thin line for you to call me crazy or say I'm bipolar, when really I just have let you run over me. Ooh. And when I finally say something about it, now I'm bipolar.
Yeah.
Now
they
want to always blaming stuff on my bipolar. No,
yeah.
You always blaming stuff on my bipolar.
Right, exactly.
Because when you go off on these people, now they're going to say to you, oh,
that's
it's just her bipolar.
Yeah.
And I don't like that, because I don't blame my sickness in any kind of way. Does it hold me back? Absolutely. But I do acknowledge that it's there, because if I don't get the proper rest, I'm a Tasmanian devil.
Maybe. Like, I know it's like, hey, I need you to go to sleep.
Yeah, please let her sleep.
I need please go in that corner and go to bed.
And you know, I tell people the other times I got locked in a mental institution and locked up where they kept me for 2 and 3 weeks, I wasn't suicidal. I was homicidal.
Oh,
so if you don't let me get my sleep, I'm ready to kill somebody. And that's not good. So I told them both times who I was going to kill. And guess what? They locked me up and killed me until I was no longer thinking that way.
So, and that's another symptom as well of having bipolar is being that suicidal thing. Maybe not.
Yeah, I don't deal with the suicide, but I was going to hurt other people. And if you go in that institution telling them you're thinking about hurting somebody, it is their duty to hold you and medicate you until you no longer are thinking to hurt somebody. Yeah. Because imagine if they let you out and I go do it.
So is it, and I know there are different, since there are different forms of it, it's all treated differently as well. So when you, with medications, is it different forms of medicines that you take?
Yes, it is, but you have to find your balance even in that.
And that as well.
And the reason why I say that, now I take Seroquel, which is very powerful. And everybody that I tell about it be like, ooh, I've taken that before. And how do you do it? Because they can't get up on it. But Kim, what encouraged me to get up on it? I had a baby.
Oh,
and I had an aunt that told me, you're bipolar, you should never have children. Do you know how many bipolar people got children? So I had him, and I had to prove to my family I can do this. Okay. And I had to wake up every 2 hours. And so I trained myself 16 years ago to get up on it. Other people can't wake up on this medicine because trust me, it's very, very strong.
So it makes you sleepy, does it?
Yeah, it totally, because it's gonna alter your mind.
Alter state, okay.
Where you constantly, I don't even speak when I take my medicine. I tell people I need to get off the phone. I need to lay down because it is, when it kicks in, you will know that it has kicked in. So your mouth is now cotton dry. Your speech is slurred.
Almost like you're having a stroke.
It's like you're having a stroke.
Yeah.
And so that's the other part of it. I think I'm dying almost every night because I'm jumping and saying, oh, I'm having a stroke. Yeah. And my friend got like, you laying on your arm, fool.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
But you see what I'm saying? The medicine takes you there.
But the good thing is that you educated yourself with it along the way.
Yeah, because a lot of people say, get out of it. If you're thinking you're dying, get out. And I'm like, no, but once it kick in, it's the best sleep
ever. Yeah. Just being able. And I love the fact that you pointed out is having those boundaries.
Now, that's my main problem that I'm saying right now. I'm dealing with that people are saying it's my bipolar. No, it's because I'm such a kind-hearted person. Yeah. And I'm being so gullible. I'm not setting boundaries. And I'm 43 and just now saying I need to learn to set some boundaries.
And it doesn't matter how old you are when you do it. And you know, and you understand that. I mean, and it just makes it so much easier for the people that you are around and the people that you meet, because it's like, man, I would have never knew that you didn't set boundaries being bipolar, because I always thought, and here's a myth, that people that are clinically diagnosed being depressive or bipolar, that boundaries is just not it. Right. They don't have boundaries. Right. But I would have never guessed that with you walking in the studio today. So that's just amazing to me that you are able to even identify, because a lot of people that have it do not know how to identify that, hey, I need this and it's necessary for me to be able to live. But your son, your miracle baby.
My miracle baby.
Yeah.
His name means God has heard.
See?
His name is Jaden. And that January, I kept saying, I just want to hold a baby. I just want to hold a baby. And I didn't find out I was pregnant until February 20th.
When is his birthday?
His birthday is August 31st.
Awesome.
He was born 8:31 at 8:31 p.m.
Wow.
And they were like, he's already special. And he gets to go to school early because he was born before September 1st.
Right before September 1st. Exactly.
Yes. And so I love him.
Yes.
He is my inspiration.
Absolutely.
Y'all will see him at the play tomorrow because I always pull him on stage with me.
Absolutely.
He is my reason to live. And he's also the reason why I've never been committed again to a mental institution ever since I've had him.
And so when you think about it,
I'm for 17 years.
I'm so that girl. That's
only like, because he's my reason to live.
Yes, absolutely. And that's such a powerful thing. So, what are some of your struggles? And I know you did share a lot of that as far as people, the boundaries.
So the struggles for me are, I hear things totally different in my head than other people and what they've said. And it causes me to get into it with so many people.
Like having conflict with people.
Conflict. Because if you say get over there and sit down.
Mhm.
What I hear is get your ass over there and sit down.
Like you
and
talking to me crazy.
like you
Yeah.
talking to me crazy.
Yeah.
And that tends to happen if I haven't had sleep. Because I don't
Mm.
deal with the depression part a lot. I'm a really happy person and I'm a God, fearing person, and I love the Lord and I know how to talk to God, and I consider myself spiritual. Not religious, but spiritual.
Mhm.
So I don't deal with depression a lot.
Mhm.
I will deal with it every now and then, but I think that's normal for anybody.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't blame that on bipolar, but I deal with manic all the time.
Yeah.
And it keeps me in trouble.
Mm.
It keeps me in trouble because I may say my truth and I said it harsh.
Mm.
I didn't mean it
You
harsh.
didn't mean it. Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? But it all depends, because if I haven't had any sleep, I'm irritable. I'm also a diabetic. So if I haven't eaten,
that
I'm
makes
irritable.
it worse. Yeah.
Low sugar, I can't even function. I'll be driving and can't even think where I'm going.
I know. It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
About to lose
and that's
it.
with
Yeah.
anybody, whether you're diabetic or not. If you get hungry enough, where you hangry, as they call it, you hungry and angry, you will say anything to anybody.
Yes, you will.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yes,
it's
you
such
will.
a thin line, because people can blame a lot of this stuff on bipolar.
Mhm.
And it's like, y'all, I'm not even being bipolar. I'm just being human.
Just being human. And that's all you got. And when you have yourself, especially when you're dealing with what you're dealing with. And outside of that, what are your, and I would say your successes? You talked about your son. You talked about, how he has been a major inspiration.
I haven't been back to a mental institution since he's been
That is
born,
a
and I
blessing.
consider that a blessing.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I was getting committed all the time. And my
Mhm.
grandmother that raised me in the church, because I told you my mom was on crack when I was younger. She's not now.
Mhm.
But when my grandmother told me, when I told her I was pregnant, and I was out of wedlock, she wasn't mad.
Mhm.
My daddy was so happy. But my
Mhm.
grandmother was like, God gave you that baby because you was lonely. Because I kept going into mental institutions, kept going back.
Now, were you treated medically while you were pregnant as well?
I was, but they took me off.
Wow.
Parkland did. But what wound up happening was I started having episodes really bad.
Mhm.
And the medicine that I'm on, Seroquel, is harder than trying to get off of heroin. Heroin is the hardest one to get off of all the drugs, out of crack and all of it. And so you start shaking profusely. Your nerves are terribly bad. And they decided, since you are pregnant, we can't afford for you to be spazzing out. And they put me back on the medication because we thought, okay, no medication. And then another time I tried to get off was when he was born. My mom breastfed me till I was 3. Because remember, my brother died when I was 2.
Mhm.
So that was her keeping me on her breast to, soothe her from his death under mine. So basically, I wanted to breastfeed. And I said, well, I'm going to get off my medicine. Wrong idea. And I wound up crying to my Black doctor at the time that I'm just shaky and I'm just crying. He was like, you cannot breastfeed. It is perfectly okay for you to bottle feed. He can still be healthy. Oh, I wanted the colostrum. I wanted to go through the whole, I'm just crying. Yeah. But he let me know your condition right now, because I hadn't been asleep. You have to get back on your medication. You cannot breastfeed.
Yeah. And that's a beautiful thing. Are there any other like trauma type things that you dealt with? And
the traumas are the traumas are my dating life. That's why I display. The traumas are, I love my parents, but when my dad died, I felt completely guilty of the way I talked to both my parents. I've had to go through anger management. I cannot stand being lied to. If you lie to me, because I've been through anger management, and because I felt like I was a child. I mean, I felt like they were the children and I was the adult, because they constantly lying to me about why they wanted money.
Oh, wow.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they were trying to get it for crack. And so now if a man just tells me the truth, I'll deal with anything.
Oh, wow.
If he's just telling me the truth.
But how do you know that he's telling you the truth?
I guess it's something in me that says, oh, okay, you told me the truth. So my truth would be, you've been sleeping with somebody else? Yeah. But you lie and I figure out you are, I'm gone. But if you tell me the truth, I'll give you anything you want. That's not necessarily a good thing.
Yeah, it's not, because you can they can truthfully lie. That's why I always use that phrase, and truthfully lie. You so really that was back then, but what are you now? That type of thing.
So that can be traumatic, because
that's that level of trust that I'm putting into you.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So for me, the traumatic part is, and then what I hate the most, God gave me, though, a really sweet son, is if I take it out on him because I'm having a bad day. I mean, I feel like all of us probably have in some point taken something out on your kids they didn't
Mhm.
deserve. But when I started yelling at him, he has every right to express himself. I've taught him that since day one.
Yeah.
You don't have to yell, mama. And I
Mm.
calm all the way down
That's interesting.
because he's just telling me. I mean, we might have got slapped around had we said, you ain't got to yell.
Yeah.
But boom, who you talking to?
Yeah.
But me, that's my calm.
And that's interesting because a lot that you're saying about your condition and how you hear things, like you said, when someone could tell me to go sit down, go sit over there. You know,
I heard
just in
it
their
totally
tone,
different.
you hear it different. And it's the same thing, even in our upbringing. You know, you hear, like you said, mom, you try to tell your parent, like, well, mama, I don't want to do that. Well, you don't get to tell me what you ain't gonna do. You gonna do what I told you to do.
That
And
being
bam!
that way. Yeah.
You know,
and when I'm
get
that way
wrapped
with my
upside
son, he
the head.
will call me out on it.
Yes.
And guess what though? I don't get mad or whoop him up. I actually calm down.
Being able to do that is the one thing. So here's the thing with yours, and you mentioned about being in and out of the mental institutions.
Mhm.
And I always say, and I what I pick up from you is every time you came out, you brought something out with you. I had to learn something else about what I learned, what was different about this time when I went in.
Well,
So you
that
took
first
away.
time, and I know people say you shouldn't say this, but that first time, it was me being celibate for 2.5 years.
Mhm.
And then I did 1.5 years. And my grandmothers both told me, if you don't go and have sex.
Uh-oh.
And my sisters asked me, because this was my first time.
Mhm.
And they came and said, what's wrong with you? You got a college degree. You was Miss Paul Quinn. You too smart for this. That's what people start talking to you about. What is wrong with you? And I say, y'all get to have sex and I don't. And my sister like, girl, you don't just go get you some dick. What is wrong with you?
Oh my God. Yeah. But they not understanding what's
You
really going
just
on.
had something up there just then that said something about the sexual behavior.
The
and it is something that is so very true. But it calms me down. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I sex.
Wow.
And I'm
it's like
calm
you're sexing your life away.
Down. Calm completely down. Now, does it make it right?
No, don't make it right.
But
so now, I mean, but we're at a place though. Now you're able to deal with the different levels because it's so many different levels and it's loaded with different things. You know, from the religion, the sex, the even there's a form of it. I think it's called extreme goal directed activity. That's like a person that's just aimlessness. It's just boom. Just they don't care. They just spaz out there. They got all these projects, these goals, and they just doing it.
That's another form of bipolar. I see that in friends. That's not me because I'm not a procrastinator. I'm gonna finish a project.
Yes.
And I only would take on one project at a time. Like even being an actress, I do one play at a time. I have done 2 at a time, but it's stressful. So I try not to do that. But I have seen people that say, I'm gonna go into business with this. I'm gonna go in business. And you be like, this is my bipolar friend.
Yeah, right.
Like, because I know that they're bipolar because they're on medication like me. I know, you understand what I'm saying? It's like, ooh, you got a different project every week.
Yes, that's like that overzealous, and it leads, and you know what? That can be so. It's good, but it's fatal because at the end you got all these projects.
Anything. That's what makes it fatal.
And then they go into the guilt. That's a part. The guilt part. It's like man, I feel horrible. Man, I feel guilty. I was supposed to do this and I committed to that. And then I committed to this over here. And it's guilt that goes into it. Then it leads to that suicidal part where they feeling worthless because I didn't complete this project. Just a whole avenue and just it's just a cesspool of just a lot of mental behavior. And how being able, and you said it best when you said, is having that balance. I got to set boundaries and being able to balance going through this.
Bishop Jace once said, the greatest accomplishment you could ever have in life is to be balanced.
To be balanced.
And that's off of the scripture, beloved, I wish above all things
oh,
that thy soul would prosper, even as, you know, so basically I need to find balance.
Yes.
And that's me, even with the sexual part. You got to find balance or you will be going having sex with many strangers or you will be. And I have to find balance.
Yes. And it's that mind thing. You speak about him, about a made up mind. I know Bishop Jakes talked about that a lot, about having that made up mind, that mindset. Just change your mind about a lot of things. Yes, we need the therapy. Yes, we need the medication. Yes, we need those things. But also you did mention that earlier in the interview when you mentioned about having to being able to not set the boundaries. You said it and lost my train of thought that fast.
Well, I would tell you what I'm learning now, even with that, and maybe this is where you were going with it, is that I had to learn that now at 43, I got to cut people off.
Well, that too.
I got to cut people off
Yes.
because now you're hurting me and you're trying to say you helping me, but you're really doing it to be funny and to be messy.
And it hurt.
And then now I got somebody that's a real friend saying they not laughing with you. They're laughing at you.
Yes.
And they keep you around being Christy Dean because I am who I am, animated, this, that.
Yes.
They keep you around to keep laughing at you.
Wow. Like, don't laugh at me.
Laugh with me.
There you go.
But don't laugh at me.
There you go. That's it. Because and it's serious. And one thing that I'm understanding now, that's with anybody. We as Black people do not like to go get on the couch. Nobody wants to go to therapy because one, we taught that that's just not what we do. We don't go.
And I want to be
nobody.
such a person that I would want to influence you to go get therapy. It is healthy. It is great. Like I said, I had to take anger management classes for 6 months because I was so angry at my parents. Angry. Me and my mom now have the best of relationship. People jealous of it. And it amazes me because I'm like, we haven't always been here.
Right.
Y'all on the outside looking in. Y'all don't even know what I've been through.
Exactly. And is that help is so important. And I kid you not, it is so important. And a lot of people don't get it. And I'm gonna say this to our people. Listen. In order to live a wholesome and a healthy life, you need to get help. And that starts with looking at that person in the mirror. Look, something wrong with me.
Because the first step to getting help is to do what? Admit you have to admit that I have a problem.
Yes, it starts
and
with
I need help.
Exactly.
Yeah. I have a problem. And I need help. They say if you point one finger at everybody else, look at all the fingers pointing back at you. So it's I need help, not you need help. I need help.
Yes, and not that blame game.
No, we don't do the blame game.
Get in that mirror, people. Like, for real. Like, seriously. Talk. Here's that thing I heard someone say all the time. I talk to myself all the time.
Oh, I do too.
I
answer myself too. I answer myself too.
I do it in a minute.
Because sometimes you need to have a prep talk. Now get yourself together. Now didn't you just see what you just did? Now that was wrong.
Yes.
Now you go apologize. Yes. Because one of my acting friends, he's a good friend of mine, Jason Ivey, always says to me, is Queen, I love the way you will admit when you're wrong.
Absolutely.
All you have to do is call me.
Own it.
Tell me. And I'll be like, you know what? That was wrong.
Own it. Yeah.
So I own when I'm wrong. But everybody doesn't do that.
Absolutely. And that makes it. This is why I love you so much, because you're completely open about it. And it's like I don't have nothing to hide. All cards
because I'm not perfect. None of us are.
Yes. And it's when those people that put themselves out there to portray or put this facade on that I'm okay. And we're not okay. Check on your people. Please. They're not okay.
Because there's so much fakeness. And that's a whole nother show. There's so many fake people out here that are pretending to be real. I'm real. I'm telling you about yourself right now because I'm telling you the truth and I'm real.
Yeah. What is real? What is that? What is real? You are human. I can feel you. What does that mean? I am real. What does that mean?
I thought I am real means I'm just telling you the truth. But a lot of times their truth may also be insults. And it may be shots. And it may be shade.
Wow.
But they're doing it to you because they feel like they can get away with it.
Well, honey, my goal in this life, and I'll say this in this life, and I can speak for anyone that come across this platform, is that you can live in your truth, that you walk away with a sense of fulfillment, like, hey, I got it out. Because a lot of times they don't talk. People don't talk. They don't want to admit it. But if you can share your space with someone and say, hey, look, this is what's going on with me.
That's right.
And I know it's going to be tough. I'm going to take you on this journey and it's going to be crazy. But when they real with you, that realness is what I mean.
And I have friends like that I have to tell. Because I have new friends now, and this week I have to cut some off because I'm now realizing they haven't been a friend. Because putting on this play, a lot of envy and jealousy has come out. And I'll just leave it at that. I'll leave it at that because I'm such a positive person.
That is
I don't want to feed off that. But what I will say is my real friends know my symptoms and signs. They know when I haven't been sleeping.
Yes.
They know when I'm too loud. They know. They're like, have you been sleeping?
Yeah. Like
Have
when
you
last
taken-
time you slept?
Yeah.
Well, you taking medicine?
You taking your medicine?
Yes.
Like they know to check on me.
Yes. I say, oh, girl, check on your friends, check on your loved ones, y'all. Please check on your loved ones, because you just never know. And you have some people that's walking around here that's undiagnosed. And I mean, a lot of people.
But look at the ones that are. And I'm an actress. It
Yeah.
hurt me when Robin Williams killed himself.
Yeah.
It hurt me when Kate Spade killed herself.
Yeah.
That's why I say this is real. I may not be suicidal. I'm homicidal, so don't try me.
Right.
Look, have an episode, I might want to kill you. Nah, I'm just saying, I'm homicidal with my episodes. I'll be ready to kill
But I
somebody.
would take somebody out of
take
here.
somebody else out, not
Yeah.
myself out. I ain't
Yeah.
never been suicidal.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you have had moments with you saying your traumatic parts where you do say, "Oh Lord, please don't let me not want to live life."
Yeah.
You have traumatic
those
moments where
yeah.
you're like, "Lord, please don't let me ever wake up and not want to live life."
But isn't it amazing how he brings those things to you to remind you on why you're living? You're
Like my son, I've been going
Here you go.
through. I boo-hooed like a baby last night with all the stuff I'm going through. But I know willing women win. And I went into a
Yes.
well and I said, Holy Spirit, and you make intercession for me. And I told Jesus, now you sitting at the right hand of the throne. I said, you can go and make intercession to our Father because it's because of your blood that he won't see any of my wrong. And I need you to go on my behalf. I need you to intercede for me.
Yes.
Holy Spirit, Jesus, I need all of y'all right now.
Yes.
Because I'm tired.
Yeah. And you do get tired, and you mentioned after you take your meds and you come out of the sleep part. I know you're clear conscious. Everything is like great. I wanted to ask you this. What about the people that's out there who are not just with bipolar at all, but what could you leave with those that's out there that's trying to, that may have bipolar, that know they have bipolar, or maybe not, they know something is wrong? What advice can you give them just trying to succeed in this life?
Okay, so I'm not going to tell you to go get on medicine, but I will tell you to get help. But you have to find what your coping mechanism is.
Wow.
Okay, I have a friend that is bipolar, but she is a comedian and she does a great job. And she copes with joking. I joke a lot about my life too. But what I'm saying is you got to find a coping mechanism that works for you.
Yeah.
So my advice would be, first, you got to admit it.
Yeah.
Because you can't help yourself if you're not saying it's me.
Yeah.
And then second, you go and get help.
Yeah.
Whether that is therapy, whether that is medication, whether your coping mechanism. My son was diagnosed a few years ago, and I don't talk about this, so this will be the first time publicly, because one thing I don't do is put my child out there.
Yeah.
But he was diagnosed with ADD and ADHD, both. And his dad said, I'm going to put him on medicine. And I just cried, please no.
Yeah.
Please no, because I know what it's doing to me.
Yeah.
So I didn't want that for my child, but they put him on it just a little while. And now he's off of it because his coping mechanism is, Mom, I meditate.
Ooh, that is powerful. That is a powerful thing. Like, no, my coping mechanism is not going out there doing nothing crazy, spazzing out, meditating. Like, let me have my space. That means don't come in my room. If you see me just sitting quiet, don't keep asking me what's wrong with me. Just, I'm in my zone. I need that. And there again, there comes that
meditation
word,
works.
balance and boundaries. And people have to respect that. Respect that, hey, these are my boundaries right here.
And quit blaming it on bipolar, because I'm saying I need you to not show up to my house without, whatever it is.
You show up
whatever it is you're doing. Now, me, I want people coming to my house. I wish somebody would knock on the door. I get tired of being lonely up
Well,
in
girl,
here.
look, I'm going to come over there. We going to have some.
And I cook for you, too. Look,
you cook too?
Yes.
Oh, girl, we're going to be in trouble.
My cats got to eat this whole time. And I cook home cooked meals.
You coming up there cooking. Everybody, hey, look, we cooking.
They come to eat.
Yes.
They spoiled. My cats was very spoiled.
Look, absolutely. Well, just for everybody, Miss Christy, would you like to share with everybody to get some resources just to get help? Definitely you can start self first. Hello. Admit and acknowledging that you have it. If you talk to even your local doctor, I'm sure they will have referrals and resources for you. However, Miss Christy, do you mind just sharing with everybody where they can find help? Get help.
Okay, so you can go to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, okay? And that will be www.suicidepreventionlifeline.org. Or you can call 1-800-273-TALK, which is 8255.
Yes.
Okay. Then you also can do the crisis text line, which you talk, you're going to text talk to 741-741.
Yes.
Okay. Then Depression and Bipolar Support Allowance, which is DBSA. They will allow you to either do their website, which is www.dbsa, well,
This is
DBS
DBS
Allowance.
Mhm.
.org 1-800-826-3632. Then you have the JED Foundation. You can go to www.jedfoundation.org or call them at 214-647-7544.
And I think it's 212 for them.
I'm sorry,
212.
212.
Yeah.
My bad. I'm thinking about Dallas.
Yes.
Then Mental Health America is www.nmha.org. And that's 800-969-6642. And National Allowance of Mental Illness.
And that's NAMI. I always say, I call it NAMI or NAMI.
Yeah, NAMI. They're www.nami.org or 800-950-NAMI, which would be 6264. And last but not least,
is it? I think it's Synovian.
It looks like Synovian.
Synovian Answers.
Synovian Answers, and they're 855, and then it's Latuda, which is LATUDA.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for that. So I just definitely wanted to bring that awareness, not just with bipolar and where recognizing the symptoms and signs of, I know something is wrong. You already know it because you feel it. And also bringing that awareness about the different types of bipolar, that there is coping mechanisms, and also how to get help. So enough with the education. Now we finna get into something fun. So Miss Christy, you have a new play that's coming out.
Yes.
And your first play was about marrying for all the wrong reasons, and you kind of broke that down on why you wrote that play. So this second one, fairly interesting. I'm going ahead and get ratchet.
We have to get ratchet.
We gotta get
ratchet because of the title. We gotta get ratchet.
I was just shocked. The title alone, I was like, so this is a rated R play. Like
the first one was rated R.
It was the first one rated R as well.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I can see that too.
Yeah, the first one was rated R.
This one right here,
this one is even more rated. I
it's like
call
that
this one rated X.
Triple X. Like it's just the X part. So listen, share what's the title of this play?
How many frogs do I have to fuck to get a prince?
Listen, y'all, I'm just gonna let you tell us about this play.
Okay, so this one once again is about what I believe in life, and so but this one is my life. This is my autobiography. These are the dates that I've been through.
Okay.
And the things that I've endured. And only one story is a friend of mine that she went through. And I asked her, could I use it? And she was like, it's going to be hard for me to watch that go in the audience.
Wow.
That's how bad it is. But I asked her, can I borrow that and put it in my play? And she said, I'm going to let you have it. But because it was a matter of a man pulling a gun on her because she wouldn't have sex with him.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And so I added that in there, but that's not my story. I thank God I've never had a man pull a gun on me. But I have had a man leave me in a parking lot because I wouldn't have sex with him all alone at a Red Lobster because I got in his car and said no. So when I told her that story, she told me about the man that got out and shot 5 shots in the ground because she didn't have sex with him.
Well, that is insane.
Right. So you see how you're looking now?
Wow.
Stay tuned. Look, all the rest of the stories, they're a little funny. They're a little funny. I had one call the police on me because I put his PlayStation outside.
Wait, the PlayStation?
That was his most prized possession.
Was it a PlayStation 5?
It was one of the old PlayStation.
It wasn't even a PlayStation 5.
And he called the police on me. But guess what? In the play, he the one with the warrant, so I'm gonna tell y'all to come and see what happened with that. Because I ain't got no warrants. I ain't wanted by the police. So y'all want to guess what happened? I ain't gonna even tell y'all. Y'all gotta come see.
Yes, and the play is tomorrow. It's tomorrow, December 4th.
Yes, ma'am.
At 5 p.m.
5 p.m.
And this one it's at the Mesquite Art Center.
Yes.
And that's at 1527 North Galloway Avenue in Mesquite. If you're here in the Dallas area, you know all about the suburbs.
Yeah, that one is off of 80 and Galloway, just so you'll know a point. It's off of 80 and Galloway. But it is rated R. And it is for mature audiences only.
Don't bring your children.
Don't bring no children.
No children. We got to get ratchet now.
No children. No children.
Your young, lead them babies and children at home. This is not for your children.
It's not for children at all.
That's why it's at 5 o'clock after hours, okay? Okay, this is the happy hours after hours. Okay?
Hello. Hello.
We're definitely, and I'm so glad to have you here. I do appreciate it. So, oh yeah, a little bit more about it. The pre-sale tickets, $25.
Yes, and if they want to pre-sale buy a ticket, you can go online and get one, but you have to pay a fee.
Mm-hmm.
But if you call me and go through me, then you just cash out me or Zelle, and I will put your name at will call.
At will call, awesome. And
then it's $30 at the door. So for those of you that's gonna go ahead and pay when you get there, you won't get to pay $25.
Right.
You will have to pay $30 because you waited till you got to the door.
See, sorry. You can't just cash up her while she's in the middle of her premiere. You can't. Don't do that. You got to cash up her before. Like, so in the morning when you get up, cash out Christy for the 25, or you're gonna be hitting 30 at that.
You're gonna be hitting 30 at that door.
All donations are welcome, though. See, look.
Oh yes, now we are taking donations, and God has been extremely good with my donations. So we are taking donations. If you cannot come, we ask that you donate to someone less fortunate, because I do have people that will get in that are on Social Security, that, like, I have senior citizens and people that have income that cannot afford a play, that cannot afford. So we will give your ticket to them.
Yes. So I do appreciate it. And I have to tell you this. I so appreciate you for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
This ain't your first time, because you coming back. Because I know you got some more plays going on up here. It's more stuff going on.
But some subjects.
Yes.
Nonetheless.
And you know what? I might need to jump on your board and start doing that play to what you call it, professional play watching. Baby, look, I would be sitting. No, see, you know what they should have done with this?
Yeah, and that's what it makes you do, because everything that I see, and see, I ain't talk about that. I used to do play critiquing here in Dallas.
Plays. Yeah,
I used
kind of like an artist.
Yeah, I used to critique plays here in Dallas until 4 years ago when I did my first one, because it's your baby, and it's a lot of people's baby. And I realized when I say you got an F, I'm saying your baby ugly.
Wow.
And I had so many people that were feelings was getting hurt because they'll tell you they want the truth. How do we do? And when I say, well, I gave you a C, or I gave you a D, or I gave you an F, they couldn't handle it. And I was getting into even more trouble in the industry.
Yes.
So I stopped grading plays when I did mine, because it comes with a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And if somebody put all that in only for you to come and critique it and say it wasn't good, I was hurting too many feelings.
Yeah, but you got to be open.
But they're supposed to be, but a lot of people are not. So I had to stop. Like I say, it's your baby. It's like coming up to somebody, let me see the baby. Oh, that baby ugly.
Well, not so harsh, though.
But that's what it is. If I'm giving you a C, a D, or an F, you're saying, so you didn't give my player A. You didn't give it a B.
Do you give them the backup why?
I gave them the reason why. I would say your sound wasn't working. This person was not on cue. I'll go through a whole spiel of what happened, like Cisco, and I can forget what their names are. Cisco and Albert.
I think
but y'all know what I'm talking about, the movie critics. So I would give you a whole breakdown of why you got the grade you got. But like I said, it still hurt a lot of people's feelings. And so when I did my own play 4 years ago, I realized this is why, because then now they're coming to critique mine. Now they're coming to see me fail. Now they're, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't like I done it. I had one friend who just got married last week, Corey Espy, that told him, why would Christy Dean hate on y'all? She go to everybody's stuff.
Exactly.
Why would she hate? I don't hate. If I say I don't like something, Kimberly, people got to understand, I done seen so many plays. And if I say I don't like it, I don't have to like everything I go see.
That's right. Just like you don't have to like everything you eat or you put on. The same thing. Same concept. So, but yeah, so I do once again, appreciate you and thank you so much. Thank y'all so much for my lovely guest, Miss Christy D. So tonight we're gonna go see. We finna go support this movie, Love.
DeMarcus Bailey, Love and Drugs 3.
DeMarcus Bailey for this premiere of is Love and Drugs 3, right?
Yes, Love and Drugs 3.
Oh, child.
And then tomorrow, Derek Pointer is doing Sons of a Snake. No, not tomorrow. Tomorrow is mine. And Monday night is Sons of a Snake. Yes. And then Thursday night is Kay Mister, who's also in my play. He recorded at my home for the first time. They used my home for film.
Oh, wow.
And he let me be an extra since they used my home. So, homeboys, y'all got to see it Thursday night.
Yeah. So again, thank you so much, Miss Christy. I welcome you. Thank you so much. Such a blessing. So with that being said, this is our segment of Ball Talk with Kim, smoothing out the truth with hope and my lovely guest, Miss Christy Dean. Now, this ain't her first time. She coming back, y'all. Watch and see what I tell you.
Oh,
She come back.
just know I'm raw with it. We're keeping it real, and it
It's
ain't
gonna get
about plays.
real ratchet.
It gets
the next time around.
My
So be
radio
ready.
show was called Real Talk with Christy Dean because we had some real talk going on. For 3 years, I did radio. So, yeah.
Yes. So I do appreciate it. And I love you guys so much and love you very
Thank you.
much. So y'all stay tuned. Next week we'll be back. I cannot give the guest just yet because I'm still trying to confirm that. But they know who it is. They know who I'm talking about. They know. So next week, thank you guys again for joining the segment of Ball Talk with Kim, smoothing out the truth with hope. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Edit this in 2 seconds.
Are we off now?
No. Well, I guess I thought I was done. I guess not. Well, I have already concluded the segment with Ball Talk with Kim. We got maybe about a minute left. Christy, is there anything you wanted to share?
Just that my phone number, 214-282-4255, or I'm Christy Dean. I always say it's spelled Christ with a Y. My name actually means Christ-like. So Christ with a Y, Christy. You add a Y. And Dean, like Jimmy Dean sausage. So Dean, Dean. Get in touch with me on Facebook. Get in touch with me through my phone number. Buy a ticket and come tomorrow.
Let's go be on. So I'll be on the line. So, hey. Well, that will be all, y'all. Have a wonderful one. See you next time.